Hi, this is Aaron and Linda with Traveling Flamingo, and today we have a bunch of news to update you on, from Alaska cruising being back for 2021 to US ports finally allowing cruising. All of that coming right up.
This is a positive news story for the Alaskan tourism industry. The U.S. House of Representatives have been working to pass a bill that would allow ships to bypass Canadian ports when traveling from mainland U.S. to Alaska. Carnival Corporation has already said that 3 of its brands, Carnival Cruises, Princess Cruises, and Holland America, are all planning to offer sailings from Seattle directly to Alaska as early as this July. These will be round-trip sailings, and guests will need to be fully vaccinated.
Arnold Donald, the CEO of Carnival Corporation, said, "We are excited to once again serve our guests from the United States, and we express our deep gratitude to all the national, state, and local officials who have worked collaboratively with us, the CDC, and our entire industry to make this possible. It's great news for cruising, for travelers ready to again explore the world, and for all the communities in Alaska that depend on cruising and have suffered great hardships over the past year. Each cruise line will be sailing 1 ship. This is going to greatly reduce the number of tourists. Anybody who's been to Alaska knows there's a lot of people. This is going to greatly reduce the number of tourists you might have seen in the past from cruising. It's still a very positive sign for an area that does not have a long cruise season. It's very short, so.
And just to clarify, it's like each of the 3 Carnival Corporation cruise lines will each be offering 1 ship.
Yeah.
And as much as this is great news for Alaska and the tourism industry, it's going to be very frustrating for BC and the people who live there and rely on travel and cruises for a living. It's going to be frustrating to see another season go by, and more frustrating to know that others have been able to begin work again. And there's also a concern that this could become permanent.
Yeah, I do feel as though the Canadian government really kind of needs to throw a bone to the cruise industry here and say, look, we can reopen with these conditions, right? As opposed to just saying we're not going to be doing anything. So, the vaccination campaign in Canada has been going pretty well. I think we're at about 50% of Canadians have had 1 dose.
Yeah, we are at a different point in terms of the vaccinations than the US is. And I don't think we are quite as far along as they are. But and the Canadian government has just said no cruising till next February. I mean, I go on and try to find something else to do in the meantime. I don't know, but I just think it's going to be extra frustrating to know others are opening up. And I know how many of our friends, we're Canadian, how many of our friends, like the US, you guys have got the vaccines going out faster and we're seeing it open up. And I know people are like, oh man, we're still locked down here.
Yeah. Well, people are going to the US to get the vaccine. So.
Right. So I just think that, it's going to be a hard time. And as you said, hopefully the BC government, Canadian government can figure something out.
I think things are getting better. They should just have a plan. I feel as though we're getting millions of doses. People are getting them. We're one of the G20's largest per capita in terms of inoculations. Just tell us when.
Yeah, what is the percentages?
Yeah. So at 70%, hey, we're going to open up cruising. And if all these are vaccinated cruises, then, So anyways, I just think that they could give some direction. And I feel like they aren't, which, I think it frustrates everybody.
Yes.
There is more positive news, though, for sailing from U.S. ports. Royal Caribbean is changing its plans for the Vision of the Seas. This does mean that the Vision's summer plans for Bermuda are currently canceled. But this is because they're preparing to sail in the United States. It does seem like every week or two we're getting new information and a step closer to seeing cruising in the United States, although we're, definitely not there yet. Royal Caribbean also stated that they're hearing from passengers that they would prefer more direct access to the ports of departure. This is a big difference for a lot of Americans who have had the ability to just drive to the port, and now you're going to have to fly. So if they were going to go from Bermuda, you'd have to get a plane ticket and then go to Bermuda, and a lot of passengers are just not interested in that. Royal says this is their main reason for canceling the Vision sailings in hopes of cruising in the US, as guests have said they would prefer to depart from US ports. This means that Royal will not be using Bermuda as a home port this summer, but does still have plans to bring its guests to the island, as it has for many years. So basically, there was two decisions. There was some companies like Norwegian who are saying, well, we're just going to cruise elsewhere. And then some other cruise lines are like, well, we're going to try to invest in U.S. ports and hopefully they'll reopen soon. And it seems as though, at least from what Royal's saying, people prefer to go from U.S. ports.
Yeah, and I'm not overly surprised by that. I think there's a lot of people who do have other ways of getting there, or they know the local ports. They've gone out of, Miami a bunch of times and they have their hotel they like to stay at or whatever. Where if you're flying, and also I think for Americans, the passport, like I don't know if that's different,
Right.
if they need a passport, if they're flying to Bermuda, but if they were getting on a cruise ship, I don't think they needed one. So I just think it does complicate things for a lot of people, and they might just say we're going to wait. Although cruising from the Caribbean has Crystal Cruises is offering more, and so I think that you do have some cruise lines who are seeing success and want to be getting some kind of income.
I like the idea of being able to fly out to Bermuda or wherever, stay in an all-inclusive for a night and then, get on a cruise ship and then come back, stay a night and fly out. Like, it would be cool if they had bundles that allowed for that, right?
Yeah, if the cruise lines had linked up with a couple of the resorts down there and said, okay, here's a package deal.
Yeah.
I know that Royal was trying to offer huge discounts on flights, but again, people are just not interested in that.
Yeah, which is interesting. So what are your thoughts? Would you be interested in something like that? Would you go to U.S. ports only? What's your thoughts? What's your sort of approach to cruising generally?
Yeah, and what do you think about Alaska starting?
Yes.
Are you pumped about that? Are you getting ready to book one for this summer, or are you still going to be waiting? I think there's a lot of people who are still waiting to see what's going to happen. Or
Do you have future cruise credits that you need to use in the next year because they expire?
yeah. So please do let us know in the comments below, what are your thoughts? We really do appreciate hearing from everybody and being a part of this community. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and happy travels.